Hello and welcome to my lecture series Business Today. My name is Oliver Gottschall, and over the next couple of weeks I'm going to take you on a journey to explore some of the most pressing, most recent issues and topics that the business world is facing today. In fact, if you're watching this video, it is very likely that you are a participant in my course Current Issues in International Business, which I'm teaching here at Chulalongkorn University in Bangkok, Thailand. And this short introduction video is for you, well, to get to know me a little bit better and for me to explain to you what are the objectives of this course and what you can expect over the next couple of weeks. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you, first of all, my teaching philosophy. I'm going to share with you one of the very valuable lessons that I learned while I was a student. Then I'm going to introduce the course and the course objectives, and I'm going to end this session with a couple of tips and tricks on how to successfully study online. So let me jump right into it and talk about my teaching philosophy. Now, I'm not a full-time teacher, but I have been teaching for the past 15 years, and I learned a lot while I was teaching. But one of the very big learnings I had in the year 2011 when I visited a seminar in Cambridge at the university organized by McKinsey. And at this seminar, there was a guest speaker on the very last day called Benjamin Zander. This is Benjamin Zander. He is the conductor of the Boston Philharmonic Orchestra. He's also a teacher. He teaches at the conservatory in Boston. And he talked about, well, his philosophy as a teacher and as a leader. And I found these principles very intriguing. And over the years, I adapted them a little bit, but still for the past now 10 years or so, I'm following these principles in my classes, and I want to introduce them to you briefly. The first one is give everyone an A. Now, this might sound a little bit odd as a student, right? Because isn't it supposed to be like a bell curve? Isn't there supposed to be a differentiation between an A student and a B plus student and a B student? But the philosophy here is, as a teacher, you tend to talk differently to an A student and to a C student. And the idea by giving everyone an A is that it will totally change the atmosphere in the classroom. It will totally change how you, as a teacher, look at students, how you talk to students, how you interact with each other, if you, from the beginning, give everyone an A. And I will elaborate a little bit more on how we are going to apply this principle, give everyone an A, in this class. The second is, it's all invented. And the idea behind this one is that, well, the A itself is invented. Someone made up a grading system that is based on letters. A, B plus, B, it's all invented. Then the scoring also is all invented. The A can stop at 90, it can stop at 85, it can stop at 80% of the total grade. It is all made up. So as everything is invented anyway, why don't we invent something that lights up our life, that makes our lives easier, that makes our lives more fun, and that makes learning in this class more fun? And this is what I would like you to do, and I want to invite you to do that in this class. The third point relates to making mistakes. Now, many times we are so worried about making mistakes. The teacher is worried about making mistakes in front of the class. Students are worried about making mistakes when they speak up in class. So sometimes it seems more wise to just keep quiet. And this is exactly what prevents us from learning, what prevents us from developing, what prevents us from moving forward in our lives. And therefore, in this class, what I would like to invite you to do is whenever we make a mistake, whenever I make a mistake, whenever you make a mistake, we are going to celebrate this mistake by saying, how fascinating. So to illustrate this a little bit, imagine a musician who practices a passage 10, 15 times. And after the 15th time, he still plays the passage wrong. So one common reaction of the musician might be to just give up or to be very frustrated. And the frustration will lead to even more anxiety and being more careful and more cautious and likely making this mistake again. But if we stand up, throw our hands in the air and say, how fascinating, that will totally change how we look at the situation. It will totally change how motivated we are, and it will help us get through this passage much better next time we play it. And the same principle I would like to apply in this class. Number 4 is living into the possibilities. Again, the idea here is that we get bogged down sometimes by the grading system, by the scoring system. And again, it prevents us from living up to the possibilities that we have. And what my job is in this class as a teacher is to make sure that each one of my students lives into the possibilities that she or he has. And it is my job to make sure that my students are successful, that they enjoy learning, and that they make the best out of this class and use their full potential and their full possibilities. Finally, the last point is rule number 6, the so-called rule number 6, which simply is, don't take yourself so goddamn seriously. Well, I'm German, so it might not always work, but I do my best to do that and to not make this class too serious, and also to let us enjoy and have some fun together, learn from each other, learn with each other, and have some fun. Now, a quick point on how this giving everyone an A works and how I want this to work in this class. The first thing is my philosophy for grading. Everyone in the class will have a chance to get an A. There's no bell curve. There are no restrictions on the GPA or whatever for this class. I will be unbiased. At least I will do my very best and try to be very unbiased. Everyone starts out with 100%. Then what you do with it is up to you. But I will do my best to ensure that everyone in the class gets an A. And here's my offer. We will enter into a learning contract, if you want. If you want, you will write up a contract with 2 paragraphs. One paragraph is about you, what you will do, what you will have done at the end of the semester that makes you deserve the A. And the second paragraph is about me. What do you want me to do in order to support you in getting the A? So how can I make sure that you have all the possibilities and can live up to your full potential? We both signed this agreement, and if we fulfill both our commitments, well, then it will be an A. So this is my teaching philosophy. Before I go now into the objectives of this course, I want to share with you one of the very big learnings that I had from an amazing professor that taught me in my master's degree. And the name of this professor is called Shigeru Thomas Atsubo. He's a professor for international trade theory at Nagoya University in Japan. And he taught a class, well, in international trade. Now, I have to say, most of the lessons learned in this class, I already forgot. But one thing stuck with me. And it has stuck with me throughout my entire career. And it is probably the best advice that I have ever received from a teacher. And that is the key to personal success. Now, Professor Otsubo told us there are two things that you need to be aware, that you need to watch out for, that will make you successful in life and in your career. The first one is you have to manage your time. There are only 24 hours in a day. There are so many opportunities. There are so many things that you can explore, that you can be working on. You have to prioritize. You have to manage your time wisely and think about how you spend your time. And what I keep telling my students is, if there's something more important, if there's something better to do than coming to this class, then you should do that. If it brings you forward in your life, then skip this class and do the thing that is the right thing to do. So manage your time, think about how you spend your time. And I think this is even more relevant now than it was when Professor Otsubo taught this class to us. Now there's so many distractions. There's Netflix, we have social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And it's easy to be distracted and spend the time on something that is not very wisely done. So manage your time well. Think about how you spend your time. It's the most valuable resource and the most scarce resource that you have. The second is market yourself. Now, marketing yourself sounds maybe, it could sound arrogant, it could sound like bragging, but that's not what is meant here. With marketing yourself is meant show your best side. Show people your best side, and they will remember you by that. And opportunities will open up. So if you manage your time, you choose what is important, what matters, what brings you forward in life, and you market yourself. You show yourself from your best side. You give your best wherever you are. People will notice you, opportunities will open up, and success in personal life and in career is just a natural consequence of these two things. Now, for me, this was very, very valuable advice, and I've tried to live by these two principles. And so I wanted to, at the beginning of this lecture, share this with you because it relates to business, it relates to careers. So maybe it will be as helpful to you as it was helpful to me. Now, let me explain a little bit about this course and what you can expect. And basically, there are three objectives in this course. The first objective is, of course, it is called Business Today or Current Issues in International Business. So we will deep dive into some of the most pressing current issues that is affecting businesses today in Thailand, in Asia, and globally. Second, as part of doing this, keep in mind there is no textbook. There is no way we can get all these informations from one single source. So everything that I'm doing in this class is basically my own research. It is based on the best reliable resources and sources that I can find. But it is based on my own research. And therefore, one thing that we have to learn here too is we have to learn how to conduct research. You have to understand how I got to these results, so you can challenge me, you can ask critical questions, you can question the concepts of this class. And then we also want to learn together how to identify credible and trustworthy sources of information, which is essential, especially when we talk about business today and current issues in international business. There's so many unreliable sources, so many false information that is now available on the internet, and that it is actually a primary task, or the primary task of a good researcher, to differentiate and pick the right information and the most trustworthy and most credible information. And finally, and that applies to the students in my course, Current Issues in International Business, you will have the chance to apply the learnings in practice by doing your own research paper and by presenting on one topic of your choice back in class. So what this means is we will have an opportunity to learn together, to learn from each other, to learn with each other, and hopefully widen our knowledge about some of the most pressing issues that are there today in the business world. Now, finally, we are still in COVID times, and it is very likely that you're going to watch this lecture series as on video, or that you are studying online. So I would like to end this short introductory session by giving you some tips and tricks on how to be successful, in my point of view, in online learning. So a few lessons learned from 2 years of now teaching, and also myself studying online. The first thing that I have to note is that the average scores, so that the points in exams and so on, in my previous online classes were about 0.3 points lower than in-person classes on a 4-point scale. So that would be half a grade. But keeping in mind that in terms of the grades that I gave out, I gave still as many A's as I did previously. But I noticed that the scores are lower. But I also noticed in the sessions that I had in the live sessions that quite a few students are taking the class from noisy locations, from restaurants, sometimes in public transport, sometimes in the car. Now, I don't have any problem with this, but what I do notice is that the attention is not really there. And there are a lot of distractions, and therefore the learning experience is not as great as if you can spend your full attention, 100% of your attention on the class. And I experienced the same thing when I was studying, when I was taking online classes. So my advice to you is try to treat the online class in a similar way as you would treat the in-person classes, meaning you go there, you are present, and you take notes. Find a quiet environment where you can really focus. Taking notes helps because it will help you just stay focused, and ask questions. The biggest risk compared to live sessions in Zoom and in watching, like in distance learning, watching YouTube videos, is that there is limited, or students perceive that there is limited possibility to ask questions. So please, I want to invite you to ask questions during the live sessions. Leave a comment in the comment section. I will check those regularly. If you have a question, there is a very good chance that others have the same question as well. So please ask your questions publicly, and I will also respond to it publicly so we can all learn from and with each other. Now, that's it for this short introduction session. I am very much looking forward to spending the next couple of weeks with you, talking about some of the hopefully interesting enough topics in international business, in global business. And I hope that we can, well, live all to our full potential and to our full possibilities, and take a lot of learnings away from this. Thank you so much, and looking forward to learning with you.